Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome to the first stream in like 3 weeks. I blame my health. Welcome in. There's quite a few of you who are, I think, new to chatting at least. So welcome in, Gaming and Science. Thank you so much for the follow, and also White Wolfman 12. Thank you for the follow. Hang on. Did I miss? There's and Olivia is, hang on, wait a minute. Olivia the vampire, not Olivia is a vampire. I was like, wait a minute. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in, everybody. I'm so sorry that I have not. Hello, V's. Hello, Robert's Kitchen, Clara, and Dragon. Welcome in. I'm so sorry I haven't been streaming for a while. I had some health issues. For those of you who might be new, I am chronically ill. I actually have 6 chronic illnesses, which those of you who have been around for a while will know is one fewer than the last time I talked about my chronic illnesses. So there's a little bit of a story time. Technically I still have the 7th one, but it's not actually doing anything to me, which is helpful to know. So, which also means, you guys, the whole, you know how I keep saying that my body, I keep trying to convince it that chronic illnesses aren't Pokemon and we don't need to catch them all, and I know chronic illnesses aren't contagious, you don't catch them, but I like the phrase. And then I was like, oh, well, I have 7, so, you know, it would have been nice to stop at a full team of Pokemon, but I guess we're still going. But no, now the 7th one has been semi-revoked, so I'm back to a full team of Pokemon, and my body may or may not have actually listened to me, which is exciting. Those darn Pokemons. I know, right? So it turns out, and thank you, Olivia, I'm feeling great today, which is surprising, because yesterday, by like 10 a.m. yesterday, I wasn't entirely sure that I didn't need to go to the hospital. So I definitely missed you, Sir Silver. Welcome back, welcome on in. Oh my goodness, there's so many of you. Welcome. Yeah, so story time of yesterday. Yesterday, I, like, overnight, so if you have chronic illnesses or you know people with chronic illnesses, you know that no time of day is better than another for for symptoms to occur, and things can happen at like 3 a.m. So yesterday overnight, I was waking up with like really bad pain, but I was tired enough that I kept falling asleep. So I kept waking up and falling asleep and waking up and falling asleep, which is better than waking up at like 3 in the morning and just being awake for the rest of the day. I've had those mornings a lot, and those are not fun. But yeah, so by the time I got up at like 8, probably, I desperately needed like major painkillers. And so I took the major painkillers, and then I took the major painkillers, and then the pain kept going, like, through the painkillers. And the painkillers that I have are, like, one step below morphine. It's, like, the highest level of painkiller in the UK that you can get outside of a hospital. So that was bad. And luckily it eased within probably about 4 hours. It got a little bit better. And then it by like 4 p.m. or something, I was like, okay, I'm good. I don't think I need to go see a doctor today. But it was bad. It was like the worst that it's been in a while. So I'm surprised that I'm feeling like perfectly fine today and happy and well enough to stream. And I'm so excited that you guys are all here. And yes, and Olivia's got all of the redemptions at once, which is great. So okay, so we're gonna hydrate first, and then we're gonna stretch. So hydrate, take a drink of something, because you're probably thirsty, almost assuredly. Also, it's very warm in the UK right now, at least in Scotland. It's been very warm today, so you probably need a drink. And what I like to do with the hydrate stuff is this is also your reminder that if you need to take medications at whatever time of day this is for you, while you're hydrating, take those medications, if you haven't already. Yeah, I'm very glad I feel better today. I'm very, very glad. It's been a rough couple of weeks. There've been a lot of stuff. So, and I finally got, the other thing is that I've been trying to get medication that we're supposed to be trying to assist with some of this, because my symptoms for certain chronic illnesses are definitely getting worse. And it took me 6 weeks to get that medication. Yay! But I have it now, so so hopefully that starts helping as well. That would be nice. If it could delay the need for surgery anytime soon, that would be fantastic. Nah, it's 5 a.m. You shouldn't even be up yet. Well, I'm sorry that you're awake potentially at a time when you don't want to be, Sir Silver, but I'm glad that I can provide some entertainment while you're up. If you only had something to drink around you, would have to go to your room, which is like 3 to 4 minutes away, maybe 5, but too lazy, wait for dinner at 3:30. Yeah. I hear the feeling of, well, I could go get something, but it's all the way over there, and I just don't want to. I was doing a lot of that yesterday. So yeah, I definitely hear you. Also, Olivia also redeemed stretch, so go ahead and stretch. If you like to stand up and stretch, feel free. I don't, only because half the time when I stand up, my hip decides that it's gonna complain loudly. So instead, I stretch against this wall. Because it's a nice wall to stretch against. I don't know. It's get yourself a wall. If you like stretching, find a wall. That's what I got. 3 to 4 minutes away may as well be in China. Yes. Never fall asleep and saw my notification. Oh, I'm sorry that you couldn't sleep. But hopefully, you know, and the other thing is maybe my entertainment will be interesting enough, but also chill enough to help you fall asleep. I'm one of those people who definitely will use certain streams to like fall asleep. If I'm having a rough day, usually at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, I'll put on a chill streamer's stream and just like curl up on the couch and be like, I'm just gonna fall asleep to this. So yeah. Sitting in your classroom, you live at school, have your computer in your classroom because there's no internet in your room. Yeah, well, I hope, are you in class right now, Olivia? Or, I mean, I am going to talk about archaeology, but I don't know if your teacher will approve of, no, okay, good. I figured, but I also thought I should check, just in case. Glares at rain. It was warm yesterday, today it's cold and your head is not happy. Oh no, yeah, changes in pressure. And such, and humidity and everything. We've been getting that as well for the last couple weeks. My husband's ears have been blocked for like 4 days straight because of changes in the pressure and the weather and things. Oh, you study game development. That's great. Welcome in. That's so cool. I'm not a video game dev, and I'm not even I don't know if I count as I'm a researcher for a game that's not a video game. It's a tabletop RPG. You know what? Let me plug it just now. Here you go. This is Carved in Stone. Carved in Stone is a system-neutral setting guide for tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons and Pathfinder and Blades in the Dark and whatever system you want to use. It's probably a little bit better for like fantasy / I mean, you could do horror. You could probably do like Call of Cthulhu with Carved in Stone. I don't know that you could do sci-fi as easily because it's set in the late 7th century in Scotland. So so spaceships might be difficult. But yeah, it's system neutral. It's going to be basically letting you play as the Picts, how to play as the Picts at the end of the 7th century. It's really cool. We've been doing a whole lot of work on it. And this last week, I got to do research on dogs in the late 7th century. So I can tell you all about early medieval puppies because there's tea to spill on that. Tomorrow's supposed to be warm again. You think that's good. That'll be nice. We've had it's 14 degrees Celsius right now after being largely around like 9 or 10 for a while. So so it's significantly warmer. Just watch someone doing a Doctor Who story in that setting. Yeah, I know, that's true. You could do Doctor Who in the Picts. I was gonna say in the Pictish period, but actually it's more specific than that a little bit. We do give information for like the earlier periods and the later periods, but we kind of focus on the late 7th century just because there's so little that we know about the Picts in general anyway. And the late 7th century, there was a lot of discussion from other people about the Picts at the time because of the Battle of Nechtinsmere, which was a battle where the Picts fought against the Northumbrians to regain control of southern Pictland, or the southern Pictish zone, basically. So there's a lot of stuff all around that. And also Bredy III, Bredy MacBilly, he was the king, and he had a lot of campaigns to unite Pickland / Fortrue to make them all Fortrue effectively. So there was a lot written about him because he went to war with a lot of people, basically. So that's we're not setting it during the Battle of Nectinsmere. It's like 5 years later, but yeah. Also, welcome on in, Ms. Halcyon. Happy Tuesday. Yes, puppy conversation. Late 7th century, early medieval Scottish puppies. Yeah. You really should do D&D again. Also, by the way, your name on Discord. Ah, okay, I was wondering if that was you, Janet. I just didn't want to assume. But welcome in. Okay, yes, modding. That makes sense, game dev. I see. the dots are connecting. But yes, hello. Need to remember to show it to your D&D group at some point. Yes, we're gonna be... I don't know exactly when, but our goal is to have some example spreads of what we've done as soon as we can, with regard, like, attention being paid to the like mental health and well-being of everybody working on the project. So we've had a few delays, in part because the research, actually almost all of the delays are because the research has been so difficult in terms of getting information about what to do, because so in archaeology, we're very comfortable saying, oh, well, we just don't know about this thing for this time period. Like, you know, we don't know what kind of dogs the Picts had. That's a bad example because we do know sort of what they may have had, but I'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to the puppies, I promise. But we're very comfortable just saying, oh, well, we know a lot about, like, the shape of Pictish houses, but we don't necessarily know how tall the walls were or whether they had a second floor or anything, because we just don't have that data. And so in archaeology, it's very easy to say, well, we don't know, we don't have that data, so we're going to move on. When you're telling stories, hello, Dan, welcome on in. When you're telling stories, you can't just say, and move on, right? When it's a major element of the story. So questions like, what kind of clothes did the Picts wear? What kind of language did they speak? Did they write stuff down? All of those have very complicated answers, and we don't necessarily have huge amounts of evidence for them in one direction or another. The other thing about the Picts, and those of you who've been around for a little while have probably heard me say this, but I think it's been a while since I've said it, so I'll say it again. The Picts are difficult, archaeologically speaking. And this is nothing against the Picts. I actually kind of love them for this. It's if you ever thought that people in the past cared about people in the future knowing who they were, the Picts are a really good example of just not really worrying too hard about it. That doesn't mean they never, like, wrote anything down. They definitely did, but there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't exist anymore. So for example, a lot of the time, welcome on in, Jossie. Oh my goodness, 8 months. What? How has it been 8 months? And also thank you, Clara. I don't know if I verbally said that. I should have. I'm sorry, but thank you both for subscribing. I don't know how it's been 8 months, and yeah. So the Picts, for example, is yes, and Clara, someone will absolutely ask how tall the walls are. So that's something we just have to make a decision on and say, you know what, this is what we're gonna do, and it's what we're gonna go with because we have to make a decision some way or another. So for the Picts, in terms of, like, not having huge amounts of information, a lot of the information that we get from past peoples is either from things that they wrote down, which the Picts generally didn't. They, as far as we can tell, like, they did write some things down, but it's number one, it's in a script that is a little bit difficult to decipher. We know that it's called Ogham or Ogham, depending on where you are. It's spelled either O-G-A-M or O-G-H-A-M. It's a script that's, like, vertical, and then they do, like, dashes and such across the vertical line, and different numbers of dashes, different orientations of dashes are different letters, which is really cool because what they end up doing is, like, on standing stones, they'll use the corner of the stone as that central line, so they don't even have to carve the line, they just put the dashes on the corner of the stone, and that's what a lot of our Ogham inscriptions are, which is just cool. Like, if anybody ever tells you that people in the past weren't that smart, I'm sorry. sorry. Like, there's so much evidence against that idea. People are so cool. But yeah, so they did write some things down, but those, it's difficult to decipher in part because we don't have any surviving Pictish sentences. Like, we don't have any sentences in their language that exist today, really. We have snippets in Ogham that we believe are predominantly names, like Breedy MacBilly, for example. So it's like Breedy, son of Billy. That's all that means. and that's like an inscription. And then the next one is similar. It's like, this belongs to this person, probably. But it's like, we don't have full sentences or full paragraphs or anything of this language that we can then say, okay, this is probably what this means. The other thing we don't have is grave goods. The other thing that we use to understand a lot about people is how they bury their loved ones. And the Picts definitely buried their loved ones, and they had structures that they buried them in, but they didn't bury them with anything. So when you uncover Pictish cemeteries, you just have the grave, like the outline of the grave. You might get, like, if it's a stone-lined grave, you might get the stone lining. If it's a wooden grave or a wooden coffin, you might get, like, wood, when it decomposes, it stains the earth, or it can stain the earth. It often does. So you'll get, like, a stain where it's just different colored soil where the wood used to be. You might get... the other thing is that in Scotland, we have a lot of acidic soil, and acidic soil is very good for preserving tooth enamel, and it's very bad for preserving anything else. So when you get a burial, it's just the tooth enamel that survives. And that's very difficult to find oftentimes, and it's also difficult to say much about because it's only it's such a small portion of the person. That doesn't mean we never get, like, full skeletons or anything, but it is, like, it can be kind of difficult to find all that. And the other thing, another way that we get a lot of information in archaeology is through ceramics and pottery. So the things that people ate out of and what they cooked in and things like that. The Picts didn't have ceramic vessels at this time. They are aceramic, which means they didn't really have ceramics. They had the, like, elite members of society had what are called amphora, which are these big Roman jugs that often have two handles, and they've got, like, oil or fish paste. The Romans really liked fish paste, so they would have oil or fish paste in them. And so there are some Roman amphora that we find in Pictish settlements for elite members of society or noble people. But Columba Gandalf Nessie, yes. But yeah, it's they don't have, like, ceramic plates. Like, I don't think we have found Pictish plates or Pictish bowls. Pictish cups, we have some glass to an extent, but the glass is, again, like, that's a rare material for eating and drinking vessels at this time. So it's not like your everyday person, like you and I would not be drinking out of glass vessels. But like in carved in stone, it's like, well, what do players drink out of? What do they eat out of? What utensils do they use to eat their food? Technically, with the Picts, we don't have a clear answer. There isn't evidence for it. So it's like, okay, well, what do we know about the period? What do we know is available to the Picts? And what reasonably would a normal person do? You know, like it's not like they failed to have spoons, right? But yeah, it's very much a whole thing. So, and the other thing, hang on, wait a minute. We did aceramic. We did lack of burials. Well, burial goods. We did lack of writing. There's another one for the Picts. Okay. The other way, another thing that gives us a lot of information is the architecture of a group of people. And the Picts built something that is called, they built non-earth-fast houses, or they built houses and buildings out of non-earth-fast materials. And what that means is that for the Picts specifically, they built their houses and their buildings predominantly out of turf. So they like chunks of ground, right? That the grass roots have kind of pulled together. And those are very cozy houses. They're very nice houses. They're great for a place like Scotland because they can be very warm. They can be very cool in the summertime, warm in the wintertime. They're easy to heat up. Generally speaking, they've got great insulation, and they're relatively easy to put together when you have the kind of thick turf that a lot of Scotland does, because our grass is like ridiculous in terms of being good for turf. But the downside to turf houses is that it's all turf. It's all organic. It's all dirt and plant matter. So it just disappears, basically. So we have like the footprint. We can get walls and maybe floors of Pictish houses, depending on the house. We do have a number of Pictish floors, and also Pictish hearths, like where they cooked their food. But we don't have much outside of that. and they seemingly just took everything with them. They liked taking their own stuff with them. One thing that is funny that we had is I love how this is where I don't even notice that you guys are adding these quotes. Is that really a quote that I said? That's kind of amazing. Or is that just me? I mean, I am semi-noticing it, but it's kind of great. Yeah, oh no, because you guys, you're on like 9, which is, are we on 9? We're on 9. Yes, a quote I said from last stream, because you guys have so many quotes, and I don't even notice they're happening. It's kind of great. Yeah, so we do have Pictish hearths. And what's great about it is that a colleague of mine who recently finished her PhD, she did a lot of work on Pictish houses and what we know about them, what we can tell about them. And one of the things that she found is that the Picts, even if they moved into another house that was built by Pictish people, they did not trust other people to build a hearth correctly. Like every Pictish house had the hearth built in the way that they wanted. So when they moved to a new house, they would just build a new hearth on top of the existing hearth that was like not broken or anything. It seemed fine, but they would just build their own on top. And you would think, okay, that's great, but then it's like the what am I saying? They're probably using like different orientations of the hearth, or they're different designs or different styles. No. It's the same style hearth. It's the same build. It's like they're identical, but it's like, it would be like me, it's like us moving to a new house and not trusting the stove that was left behind and being like, no, we're getting a new stove. And it's like every Pictish household that we are aware of doing, like moving into a house and replacing another family, for example, they did that. They did not trust the stove that was in the previous house. So there is the Picts, even though there are lots of things that we don't have information for about them, there are also lots of things that we do have information for, and they're hilarious. Like Columba Gandalfing Nessie, although Columba is technically Columba originally is from Ireland, but he lived on Iona, which at the time that he was the abbot there, and founding his monastery, was generally under the kingdom of Dalriada. But yeah, he definitely Gandalf Nessie with a "thou shalt not pass, thou shalt go no further, nor harm this man." Anyway, I've just spent a good like half hour talking about the Picts, and I haven't even gotten to the puppies yet. So let me tell you briefly about the puppies, and then I'll get into Minecraft. Not because I don't want to show you Minecraft, but because I don't trust my brain to get into Minecraft and then remember to tell you about the puppies. We know my brain. It goes in tangents and then it loses track of what it was doing. So yeah, one thing you notice about home renovation shows is that they've always got to update the kitchen. Yeah, it's kind of great. So Pictish puppies. This started because we were gonna have, we're getting an artist to do some work. Well, we're getting a lot of artists to do work for Carved in Stone. And one of the things was figuring out, like, we knew that the Picts had hunting dogs. And the question becomes, okay, what kind of hunting dogs do they have? Obviously we need to put this in somewhere, but how do we visualize that? So I started doing this little bit of a deep dive into early medieval dogs. And the short answer is that the Picts generally had two. Well, okay, I'm extrapolating a little bit. A lot of this is coming from Ireland in the same period. Excuse me. But some of it, like, it's kind of like half and half. Half of it's coming specifically from the Picts, and then the next best thing I can get is from Ireland. And that's something that happens a lot in archaeology. Hello, Polter Gnome, welcome on in. Hello, Orc Boy, good morning. So, dogs. Okay. So generally in the early medieval period in basically like what is now the UK and Ireland, we have two types of dogs. We have lapdog size, right? Little lapdogs. And then we have big hunting dogs, okay? That are like, I don't know, 70 centimeters at the shoulder, maybe slightly shorter, but not by much, okay? And then the lapdogs are like 25 centimeters at the shoulder. They're little guys, right? So we have these two groups, and what's interesting is we don't really have any evidence for any dog sizes between those two. It's either like little lapdog or big hunting dog. And the big hunting dogs, the people who have done the research have been saying that there's nothing, if you guys know of Irish wolfhounds, there's nothing that we see in the remains from that period, in the what are called faunal remains, so the animal remains in that period, that are at quite as large as an Irish wolfhound. But there is reason to suggest that so Irish wolfhounds and corgis, yeah, Jossie, you called it. Yeah, so there's reason to suggest that at least in Scotland, they probably had something close to what is now a Scottish deerhound. So very similar to an Irish wolfhound, just a little bit smaller and slightly different builds. But basically, or like a smaller Irish wolfhound, effectively, probably in Ireland. However, and here's where the ridiculousness comes in. All right, and you guys know, I say if you're talking about something historical and there isn't something ridiculous involved, then I doubt its validity. I want to know where the ridiculousness is. Okay, so apparently in the early medieval period, it was illegal to export lapdogs from what is now like the island of Great Britain to the island of Ireland. Like, you could not send lapdogs to Ireland. The Northumbrians and the Mercians were just like, no, you're not allowed to have our lapdogs. So some crafty dude, he's got a name and I forget it, and I'll put it in the Discord if you guys are curious. Remind me to give you the name if you want it. But which, by the way, for those who are new, we have a Discord that you can join where we talk about archaeology and Minecraft and post pictures of people's pets that I live vicariously through because I don't currently have any pets. But yeah, so this guy who is relatively well-to-do in Ireland at the time, he goes and visits some of like cousins in Britain, in Northumbria, basically. Northumbria or Mercia, I don't know. It just says in Britain, so it could be either one. It could also be Wales. It's not entirely clear. Things get sketchy. Yeah, there's a reason it's not entirely clear. But he goes and visits them, and he falls in love with these lapdogs. And he really wants a lapdog, but he can't take a lapdog back to Ireland because it's illegal. So he takes someone smuggled puppies. Oh yes, Clara, but they did it legally. It's kind of amazing. Yeah, Welsh corgis shall not leave Wales. So he was like, I really want one of these dogs, but I'm not allowed to take one. So what he did is he took grease, like animal fat, and took one of his best daggers, like covered in gold and silver decoration, really pretty object, really expensive, and he covered it in this animal fat, and then he just kind of casually placed it where the dog would find it. And so the dog, being a dog, is like, oh right, thing covered in animal fat, let me just gnaw on that. And so the dog just gnawed on the dagger, and because the decorations were made out of gold, it's silver, like really malleable metals and really delicate like wire work and everything, the dagger was totally destroyed in terms of its value and its beauty. And according to laws at the time, when something like that happened, if an animal of yours was responsible for destroying the property of somebody else, the animal could be confiscated in payment. So he's like, well, your dog has destroyed my dagger, so I guess I'm taking this dog. I'm confiscating the dog now. It's my right, because you destroyed my dagger. So he took this lapdog back to Ireland, and according to tradition, all lapdogs in Ireland from then on were descended from this dog that he confiscated from Britain because he wanted a lapdog. And, yeah, it's amazing. This is what I mean. Like, if people aren't being ridiculous in your history, what are you doing? Like, you're missing something. There's some point of research that has not been done yet. Because humans are absurd. And, yeah, so that's one of my favorites. I like it. I almost like that story better than Columba Gandalfing Nessie. Mostly, I like the phrase Columba Gandalf Nessie, and also the story of Saint Surf. Did I tell you guys about Saint Surf and the dragon? I feel like I did, where the angel was like, "You need to do more with your life," and Saint Surf booped a dragon, and it died. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for the 8 months, Lazagod. That doggone dagger doggo smuggler. Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I'm still not sure how it's been 8 months, but I'm so grateful that you guys have hung around for that long. and grateful that more people are deciding to hang out. It's always cool. Yeah, so that was a story that I discovered like last Monday, and I've been wanting to tell you guys for so long, but then I couldn't stream last week. So I was like, okay, all right, we're doing this now. We're talking about the dogs. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's pretty great. Oh, okay, I have one more donut tangent. I know we're at 36 minutes and I haven't gotten into the game, but I promise you I will. I promise you I will. Don't worry, Ms. Halcyon, we are getting to that Kingfisher. Okay, so, oh no, my brain is doing the thing where it's like, I've forgotten what you wanted to say. Oh, okay, Saint Miracle. All right, okay, so we're gonna talk about Saint Ninian. You guys remember how I was talking about Saint Ninian and how his name is actually Finiav? Like, spelled U-I-N-N-I-A-U. And then, like, a century after he died, the Northumbrians wrote it down wrong and thought the U's were N's, so he's been known as Saint Ninian ever since, even though that was never his name. So that guy, the Northumbrians really kind of put him on a pedestal, so I don't know if this miracle story is actually true, or if this is a Northumbrian story. The person I got it from wasn't sure if it was, like, the group that tried to be a little more accurate with him, or the group that just, like, went, oh no, he's amazing and the best person ever. I don't know. But basically, story goes... The story goes, the donut is your biggest contribution ever. It's so good, Sir Silver. It's such a good emote. I'm so happy with the donut emote. Yeah, donuts are a great consolation if we don't. That's very true. Very true. Always donuts. Maybe not always donuts. You probably should eat something other than donuts in your life, but also donuts are great. So yeah, so Saint Ninian, apparently, he was traveling to another monastery. Let's call it Lindisfarne. Just cause I don't know if it was, but let's pretend it was. So he travels to this other monastery, travels to Lindisfarne, let's say, and he gets there, and it's like spring. It's like early spring, and they sit down. They start kind of preparing for the evening meal, and he goes, you know, I could really use some leeks in this soup. And everybody at the monastery is like, yeah, that would be great, but we literally just planted them. Like, it's too early in the season for leeks, so unfortunately. And he was like, yeah, I know. So then they go through this whole thing of, like, starting to cook this soup, and he keeps harping on about these leeks. Like, man, I could really use some leeks. And they're like, dude, we planted them yesterday. We can't, like, we would love some leeks too, but we can't get them. And then he looked at them. Basically, there's a point where he looks at them and says, you should check the leeks again. And they're like, dude, we planted them yesterday. He's like, I know. Check them again. And so they go out to the garden, and the leeks are fully grown. And so they harvest the leeks and put them in the soup for dinner. And that's a story around Saint Ninian being a saint. and doing miracles is because he wanted leeks in his soup, and they weren't ready yet. So his miracle was making the leeks harvestable, making them ready to harvest, because he wanted them in his soup in, like, February. So yeah, there you go. That's one of my favorites, is the whole leek soup thing. Anyway, I will hop into this game. The leeks are super silly. Okay, if you can't survive on cookies, then what's the point? I agree. Such a hangry miracle, right? He was just like, check again. Cake or death? Oh, good. Okay, that also helps, because I was wondering if I had made that redeemable, and forgetting if I had. So let's, hang on, let me actually get onto the server. That would help, wouldn't it? Is it? Okay, all right, let's go. Let's go on to this. I also, oh, hello, my little Olay. I came prepared. Oh, it's raining. I mean, I don't have to care about the rain, but still. I came prepared. I have a little photo of a Malachite Kingfisher. Ready? There we go. That's what we're building today. It's adorable. It makes me really happy. We're gonna build him up there, and see how far we get. I know I've just spent like 40 minutes talking about archaeology, but you know, the archaeology is half of why you guys are here anyway, so I feel like it's fine. So, was this there? I know there's a sheep that's an imposter. Did we dye the imposter sheep blue, or was this sheep just already blue and in here? I don't remember. I know we named it imposter. I feel like it was blue already. So, I thought I was making that jump. Let's see. How good is ArchaeoPlays at the game? That was better than I thought I would do. Super silly. Yes. It's been too long. Hadn't even started your wheat field last time. Oh, that's true. Yeah. It's, there's been a lot happening. We also had a cake or death, which I need to remember happened. So for those who maybe haven't been on ArchaeoSMP or haven't seen ArchaeoSMP, I mean, more likely, because those of you who are on ArchaeoSMP are aware of what it is. This is a server that I started for heritage people, archaeologists, historians, and also like enthusiasts of those subjects to kind of play with Minecraft and see what Minecraft can do for things like archaeology and history and such. And as you guys are aware, knowing my channel and what I do, the answer is a lot. The answer is quite a bit. For those of you who have been here for a while, you'll notice that the cliff is significantly taller than it was last time. I'm really happy with how this came out. I did finish up the main, like the base. I put torches in here. Oh, well, oops, I forgot about efficiency. Where are you? I can hear you. I was all proud of myself for putting all the torches. Is there a cave somewhere? Oh, there's also still a cookie here. Hang on. I have so many cookies also. Whoever has been putting the cookies places, I have so many cookies in all of my boxes. It's kind of amazing. But yes, I am set on cookies for a while. I have like 8 stacks. Probably. It's, yeah. There's a lot of cookies. Okay, let's do that. Maybe that zombie is down there. I'm not sure. But anyway, cause it shouldn't be in this house. There's light in this house. Huh. I don't know. You think it was already blue? Yeah, I think so too. 102.4 thousand seeds. Sir Silver, that is so many seeds. Here, let me actually, let me sleep. Before we get creepers blowing up my cliff face. Posted a pic, excellent. I'll check it out after the stream. Cool. I always like seeing what everybody's doing in Minecraft. Your SMP is planning a reset soon. You're toying with the idea of restoring an ancient city as a long-term project. What are your recommendations for a project like that? What are my thoughts on the structure and its background? Ooh, okay, so I haven't spent huge amounts of time in ancient cities, in part because The worlds that I've been in for like my YouTube series, I'm not that I don't progress that quickly in, so going to the deep dark is probably a really bad idea when I don't even have iron armor yet. I've been in that world for like a year and I still don't have iron armor because my ability to make videos is relatively slow. But in here, I was like, oh, Deep Dark would be great, but I should probably do that on stream, and I haven't done that on stream yet. So I'm aware of the Deep Dark. I've watched plenty of people go into the Deep Dark. What I like about it is, well, I like a lot of things about it. I like that it's such a complicated structure, and that all of the ancient cities, well, yeah, I'm talking about ancient cities, not just Deep Dark, but I like that all of the ancient cities have variation to them, that there isn't like a cookie cutter box description. I can word good. I have a PhD, I promise. I like that there isn't like a set, like it's not the same every time, basically. I really appreciate when sites change it up. Even a little bit. It doesn't need to change up huge amounts, but if it changes it up at least a little bit as you go, that I really like. I also like the wool that's everywhere, where it's clear that the people who created the ancient cities, like that design of that walkway incorporates the wool. So it's clear that it's from that period, that those people were like, no, this is the way to go. because yes, I'm not forgetting Cake or Death. That's why I'm standing here. So yeah, so I like that. But I haven't really, I do like that there's like redstone in there, but it's not super complicated redstone, which is a little bit of a shame. I mean, some of it is, but it's kind of like, here are the basics of redstone, and I get the decision for that for gameplay, just so that people know what to do, or can get a sense of what to do within the game, because Minecraft has so little explanation in the actual game itself. But at the same time, it suggests that like, the redstone technology that these people wanted to safeguard, they only use in this one spot, and it's relatively simple designs. And I don't know that that necessarily matches the level of ingenuity that they have for their buildings and their architecture and things. So that I don't know. But I do like that they have things that are guarded, and that there are safe places or safer places and then less safe places. And I love with the ancient cities that there's like a little campsite where clearly somebody who wasn't part of the ancient city civilization has come down here before. I think that's really, really cool. You'd add pallets, blocks, add a few blocks like warped planks to match the theme, rework the cave. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Most of the cookies you got were named almond with some peanut butter. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Okay, because mine have been named cookie. So you got fancy cookies. There are cookies everywhere. There are also cookies. There are cookies in almost every chest that I own. There are cookies, and here there are cookies. There were like 4.5 stacks of cookies in the chest that's over by my storage, and I put them in a shulker box. I have so many cookies. Yeah. Don't think you saw any oatmeal. Okay, so we're gonna do Cake or Death because Sir Silver got it 7 minutes ago, redeemed it, that's the word I mean, 7 minutes ago. For those who are unfamiliar, we have a shrine to cake. Basically, when I got Twitch affiliate, I decided that should be celebrated. And one of the things I'm doing with this base is changing it over time. So the structures are not going to be the same. Like, this building isn't going to be the same at the end of this series as it is right now. Like, it may not even exist there at all. So so a lot of this is going to change, and I'm kind of tracking where the materials go as we change things. So the idea is that something from the first iteration of my house, which is not even this, may end up in a build that's like, 4 or 5 stages down the line in a completely different spot, and we're kind of curious to see what that does. But the idea with the cake shrine is that the cake shrine would actually stay the same. It would be one of the only parts of this area that actually doesn't change. So this is the shrine to cake. It's the affiliate cake, and Cake or Death. It's a roulette machine. You either get cake or a firework to the face, and it's up to you which one you want. And it's like a magic 8 ball. whatever, it depends on the question you're asking, which one you want. So, Sir Silver, let me know if you've got an idea of which one you would like. You don't have to, you're welcome to tell us which one you would like, but you don't have to. But I also don't want to push the button. Well, I don't want to get a result before you're ready. You want death, you want a firework. I accidentally stepped on this earlier and got cake, so I think it's primed for a firework. I don't have any evidence to back that up. It's just, you know, like the whole statistics thing with gambling that isn't actually legit. But, hey, there you go. A little white firework. So this is cake shrine. It's got the colors of cake and candles and the original cake that I haven't eaten, and then, you know, cake and fireworks and fanciness. And also, this is where I discovered that, oh, I've put these all on the bottom. Hang on. Nope, hang on. Number one, this is the building where I discovered that glazed cyan terracotta, the design is off-center. The creeper face is off-center, and it bothers me. But also it's where I realized that if you cover it up with warped planks, it actually looks really nice. So, so that, this bit might feature in the little, if you see the like speckled bit on the kingfisher's head, like right on its crest, I feel like cyan, glazed terracotta, and warped planks might be the way to go there. I'm not super sure, but that's what I'm thinking. There's no way I'm getting out of here without setting off a different, oh, I got cake. I said that as if that was a bad thing. It wasn't a bad thing. I'm a fan of cake, but I like to put the cake back in so that people can still get cake. The campsite where illagers have probably been in the ancient city. Yes, yeah, absolutely. If fresh cake has been put into the machine. Nope, it's 8-month-old cake. But it's Minecraft, so nothing ever decomposes, except for copper, which oxidizes, but it still doesn't decompose. They're probably so stale, you're right. So originally I was like, I'm gonna get chickens so that I can have eggs, so that I can make more cakes. And I have chickens. I have 2 chickens. They volunteered to be on my farm. They wandered into my sheep pen. They're probably up on the hill over there. You can see at least one of them. There you go. You can see 2 of them. They're up there and there. But I only have 2 of them, and I haven't bothered making a pen for the chickens or collecting eggs. It's priorities. My priorities are in order, I swear. But anyway, let me go show you guys the bird structure. Bird geology. This is the structure that made me want to settle here in the first place. So we were walking along, well, wandering around, generally in circles, because that's what I do in Minecraft. I get disoriented and I think I'm going in a new direction, and I'm really not. Maybe that cake's made of Twinkies that last forever. Yes. Cake is one of the things you make farms for, and then you remember you can just buy them en masse for emeralds. That's also true. Which really is even more reason for me to have gotten non-stale cakes for Cake or Death, but look, okay, we can't we can't all be I don't know, organized functional humans. So we were wandering around and kind of looked at this structure, and Clara goes, that looks like a bird, and I was like, oh my gosh, it does look like a bird. So like this is a wing here, and then this is like the breast, and then the head of the bird up there. And so originally I was gonna turn this into a heron because I really love herons and I thought it would be cool. But the design I came up with for the heron is like a heron in flight, and it doesn't really work with this structure. And also I kind of felt a little sad that the structure of the like original geology, I was about to say geography, but geology, is not really like reflected in a heron, right? This isn't so much of a heron design for this shape of a bird. So I realized the other thing was that I had built my duck over there, and I wanted there to be something like intermediate in terms of size between the duck and the heron that's going to eventually go in the sky. I'm going to have the heron flying like this way. It's going to be on that side, and it's going to be flying like away. It's cool. I'm excited for it. But yes, thank you so much for subscribing, Mr. Gista. Welcome on in. 7 months of Prime. Also, just in case any of you are unaware, most people on Twitch are aware these days, but just in case you're not, if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free subscribe each month, a free subscription each month. I can do words. So if you would like to, like, you don't remotely feel like you have to use that for me, but you can use it for me, or you can use it for whichever creator you want. If you happen to have Amazon Prime, if you don't use it, you're basically just not using a free thing that you're allowed and entitled to use. So, Prime subscriptions are a good thing. Yes, I don't think you haven't missed any gameplay. I talked a lot about the Picts and dogs and saints and such, but I haven't actually started building the Kingfisher. I'm doing it now, I promise. So I wanted something that was intermediate between the duck and the eventual heron, and then it dawned on, and I also wanted something that was like brightly colored, and the color theme that I generally have in this area because of the acacia is like orange and then blues and such, because I really like how copper goes with, I just like it, orange and coppery blue. And then I realized that obviously kingfishers are water birds that are also blue and orange. And then because this is a savanna, I was like, I should build a kingfisher that is like native to savanna. So that's why we're going with the Malachite kingfishers, because even though they're a little bit, I got you, dragon. Thank you. Even though kingfishers are, Malachite kingfishers are a little bit differently colored to to more common kingfishers, they're the ones that you see in the savannah, and they're super cute. They're also small. They're way smaller than ducks. So like the relative size of these two things is not going to be accurate, but I don't really care. I love kingfishers. I also love ducks, as all of you know. So yeah, so we're gonna do that. I know that we're coming up on the 1 hour mark, and I like to take a break, each hour. I'm gonna go until about, I'm gonna go for another hour after this, but I like to take a break on the hour just so that everybody has a chance to get something to drink, can stretch, use the bathroom, get some snacks, etc. And also just so that I can run a 3-minute ad that you guys won't miss anything for, so that way new people can jump in and not have to worry about getting pre-roll ads. They can just join us right away. So I'm thinking what I would like to do. I'm curious. I don't know if I made it so that I could walk. Oh, maybe. I want to get up to this. Well, where do I want to go? I was thinking if I get up there and kind of plonk the boxes down, I can start to organize myself. We also have chickens up here. They've been supervising. We have Henry and Henrietta because when I worked at a farm and taught kids about chickens, we would always say that the chickens were named Henry and Henrietta because we usually used Henrietta because you usually take hens into school groups of children because roosters are mean. So you don't take them to go and say hello to 7-year-olds. So we would take chickens, we would take hens and call them Henrietta. Okay, so there is a cave, just down here. So this is where the wing is. Like the wing kind of comes up this way. And the interesting part about this, I want to keep this cave the same. I do have wings. Yeah. I'm a functional human, I promise. I'm a functional human, I promise. Can you tell that I'm used to not having wings in Minecraft? Because I'm like, oh, I have to get up there. But I can just fly. I want this cave to be like maintained. I want to preserve the cave because I want to be able, I love how Claire's having to remind me that I have wings, but the entire reason I want to preserve the cave is so that you can fly into this cave. I'm a functional person. I'm human. Yeah, so the difficulty is The difficulty, for all you knew, I left them somewhere. No, they're on my person. I'm so good at this game, Clara. I know what I'm doing. So the difficulty is going to be making this Malachite kingfisher look like a kingfisher, both from the ground, which I think will be relatively easy, but also like when you're flying into it. So here, let's do this. Let's actually show you how it looks. So like you can see the cave, it's kind of big. So I feel like I'm also really bad at actually using I'm really bad at actually using elytra because I think that I'm not oh, hang on. What? What are you doing? Where are you? Can I get a trident? No, go away. Trident? No. I don't think we got a trident. Eh. No. The trident drop rates are sad because the number of trident boys that I kill in this lake is it's a lot, and I don't get, like, I have one trident to show for it. It's so sad. Anyway, yeah, I think the cave, it's gonna have to be like something on the inside where it's also similar colors on the inside to give the illusion as you're flying in, maybe, that it's still looking like a wing even though it's a cave. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. But I think what we'll do is your rooster would sit on your foot and not let you leave. Oh no. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll take a break here so that everybody can get something to drink, get something to eat, stretch a bit, use the bathroom if you need to, take medications if you need to. Friendly reminder to take medications for whatever time of day it is. If you have medications you should be taking at this time of day. And yeah, I'll play a 3-minute ad. We'll get rid of pre-rolls. Hey Zed, welcome on in. I'm just about to take a 5-minute break, but when I get back, we're gonna build a kingfisher up there. So so stick around. But I am gonna take a quick break, just for 5 minutes, and I will see you guys. Yeah, I'll see you in 5 minutes. All right, be right back, guys. See you in 5 minutes. Hi, everybody. Guess what I forgot to do during the break? I kind of forgot to sleep. So, it's fine. It's fine. There was just, you know, a creeper and a skeleton over here. It's all good. All right, they're gone. I love how it's like, I stood up, I did the 3-minute ad, which I often forget to do, and then I forgot to, I went back into my house and everything to be like, I should be safe, and then I forgot about sleeping, so, so I'm good at what I do, I swear. Okay, so, I've got the blue box, I've got the orange box. Now the orange box, okay, so you can see with this kingfisher, I'll give you the bigger picture just so you're not squinting at the little one. You can see how bright orange they are, and most of the orangey blocks I've got, I was gonna use like orange terracotta and acacia, which are not very bright. And the Malachite Kingfisher's orange is more like orange shulker box kind of bright, or orange wool kind of bright, like this color. And I feel like that's probably what I'm gonna end up going with, but I don't have those materials just now because I didn't realize it until I was getting ready this morning for the stream. So what I think I'm gonna do is we're gonna start with the blue anyway, and then I'll start replacing some of the orange, and then what I might do is go back in and make it brighter, just because I want it to be the Kingfisher colors. But interestingly, it might be the first ever time that I build with concrete. I have never built with concrete in Minecraft, but I feel like the bright orange, you kind of need the bright orange, and I don't want just a whole bunch of orange wool, so I'm feeling like concrete might be part of this sort of second phase of bird stuff build, this intermediate bird build. that might happen. If I want orange wool, you have some? Cool. I think I'll get the shape of it with like the acacia planks and such. But yeah, shulker boxes might not show up from that distance. That is also a good shout. Excuse me. Yeah, because we do want stuff that shows up. So actually, yeah, I feel like the wool and the also shulker boxes are a bit expensive. But it would be cool to have a few shulker boxes in there maybe. As like storage. I don't know, what I kind of want is for like this cave thing, I also kind of want it to come to the front and be like a little bit of a viewing platform. Or for there to be somewhere on the head where you can like stand on the head and see the whole area. I think with the head of this, I think we're gonna need to smush the head down a little bit. Because every picture I've found of Malachite Kingfishers, and also just Kingfishers in general, they don't really have that much of a neck. They're kind of like hunched in their shoulders a little. So yeah, could make it out of lava. That is true. Could make it out of lava. Are you one of my chickens? No, you're a different chicken. Okay, well, I mean, I do care about your health and well-being, but not nearly as much. Stop it. Here. Do that. Go away. Come on, chicken. You can do it. I promise you, you can function. This is the other thing about chickens, and, are you gonna move at all? No, I'm just gonna leave that chicken there. It's probably because that doesn't look quite like a source block, does it? Is that flowing? I don't know. I'm gonna leave the chicken. We're gonna leave the chicken. It's all good. Hello, Tech Dog, welcome on in. I'm glad you made the stream too, and also glad you've been enjoying the YouTube content. Oh, that's a thing I haven't told you guys about. I have been working on a how to build ruins in Minecraft video. It's actually going to be 2 videos. The first one is going to be how to build ruins, or at least how I would build ruins in Minecraft. And then the second one is going to go into all of the archaeological, like the actual archaeological processes that make ruins ruined, basically. So one is like, how do I build this thing? Oh, I should actually take the Kingfisher. Sorry, guys. I should probably have taken that off. Kingfisher's still on screen. Thanks. I'm a functional human today. In fairness, I'm about as functional as I usually am on stream. I think at this point I probably just need to, yeah, I think I need to just accept the fact that I'm as competent, incompetent, I'm whatever I am. That's words that works. Also, everybody hydrate. For some reason that didn't come through sound-wise, and I'm a little concerned. Why? That's weird. Did you guys hear the hydrate come through? Can't tell behind the bird pic. I don't even know what I was... Oh, with the chicken and the block. Yes. Uh-huh. We're gonna leave the chicken there. Look, they've got a way out if the... You didn't hear it. Did it seriously change? I tested this before going live. Did it change before? Okay, hang on. Let me fix that. Let me try to fix this. You didn't hear it? No. Okay, hydrate. It's not even turning up on screen. I'm not sure what that is then. Is that... Technology gnomes aren't doing their jobs. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's a technology gnome situation. Sound alerts has been acting strange for you? Okay. So long as it's not a me situation, I'm gonna try one thing. Just because if you guys are doing the sounds, it would be good to actually have the sounds. Let me see. Let me try one more time. Nope. Okay, well the good news is that I can still see them like in the chat and in the redemption thing. We just might not get a sound alert. Well, it sounds like we won't get a sound alert, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But it was working before I started stream. I tested because these days I just test every time I go live. I'm like, does this still work? Okay. So let me just see. I'm gonna do a test for like follows and subscribers and see if that's working. If it's like a, I don't know. Nope, that I heard. Okay. All right. So I think it's just a Twitch problem. I think it might be Twitch being twitchy. Might be a... We'll figure it out later. is what I'm gonna do. Here, let me get back into the game. Okay, hang on. Let me adjust where my mouse is because yeah. But yeah, didn't hear it. Okay, well, that was a hydrate, right? Everybody take a drink. if you're supposed to take medications at this time of day for whatever time zone you live in, take those medications. This is your reminder. If you don't have to, then obviously don't worry about it. But yeah. Okay, I think we should start with the blue because that's the one that I'm the most worried about in terms of like getting the shape down. And I kind of want to see if I just replace like the top parts, this wing part here with blue, if that's gonna get the shape that I want, or if I'm gonna have more issues than that with it. Mostly because I want it to be semi-easy and to maybe just replace stuff. But also I'm aware that that might be wishful thinking. And also I'm gonna need to figure out how to orchestrate this and replace it. And there's some of these, like this bit here feels like it comes out really far, and I don't know that we're gonna need this bit, so that might disappear. Or it might change, at least. I don't know. I'm gonna start winging it. Get it? The pun wasn't intended when I said it, but I'm gonna take the credit for it because because it's pretty great. I'm also gonna just put a bed down here because I don't want to have to keep flying back and forth to my house because I just don't want to. I don't have haste over here, which is good. I have a haste beacon set up, but it's like on the other side So we might have to deal with that later. Let me just, nope. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any scaffolding. I do have scaffolding in my house. In my storage system. Sounds like a future you problem. Exactly. It's like, that sounds like a problem for after stream. Okay, let me go get my scaffolding because I probably will need scaffolding. I'm really bad at using scaffolding. I am usually a dirt scaffolding person, but I feel like regular scaffolding will probably come in better use. I only have 6 though. So never mind, we're gonna do dirt scaffolding because I know how to use it better and I've got more of it. Hello, dragon. Welcome. What is this? Oh my gosh, so much orange wool. And yellow. Thank you. Bye. Cool. Okay, so now we've got orange wool. All right, now I'll do the shape in orange wool. I think part of why I liked the orange terracotta originally was because I could get the texture in there, but I think the texture of the wool will let me do that, and there are ways of doing like banners and such to get the feathery kind of texture. So I'm feeling now that I kind of want the color to be more the color that it actually is, rather than this color. I like the muted colors, but when it's a kingfisher, right? It's like one of the most brightly colored birds in existence. I mean, a lot of birds are brightly colored, but kingfishers are very brightly colored. We gotta get the brightly colored kingfisher in there. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can land over in the cave. This is another thing. I'm gonna need to be better at this. Nope. I was trying not to hit the top and I failed. I was gonna say, and I hit the bottom, but no, I don't think that even happened. I think I just failed. It's fine. Everything's fine. I've got dirt scaffolding. And then this, I built this a while back on another day when I was having health problems. And this is just like the beginnings of a little branch for the kingfisher to be sitting on. So we're gonna have to get the feet. That's the other thing, is that, and I promise I will remove this in time. I promise. The feet and the beak of this kingfisher are bright orange. They're like this bright orangey red. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that. If that's gonna be, I'm not sure. I haven't gotten that far. So we'll figure it out. But we're gonna have to do it, and it's gonna be fun. Okay. But Archaeo, the terracotta looks so good. I know, it does look good. Well, it may be something where if we make the feet and the beak the bright orange, because there's no other way to do it necessarily. I think what I need to do is sit in creative and noodle around a bit with all of the orangey reddish blocks, like none of them. We have orange blocks and we have red blocks. We don't really have an orangey red, but I feel like that's gonna be. I think I need to noodle around a little to figure out the beak and the feet situation. Maybe make that part out of copper. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Ooh. Do I want? No. I'm gonna make that out of orange wool initially. Just so that I know that it's not part of the, because if I'm trying to match the geology, even though this is dirt it counts. If I'm trying to match the geology for the shape, I don't want to then put wool where it's not supposed to be. So I'm going to do this for now, and then I'll swap it out when when we do the orange. Okay, all right. This is a thing I can do. I suppose. Well, I'll leave this bed here. Everything under the bed is where it should be. And here, we'll do this. There are ways... ArchaeoPlays, you can think through this. I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. Probably. We really don't have an orangey red block. Yeah, no, we don't. Acacia could be, but it's a little dark. May have bought out most of it again. So many chests, hoppers, and... Oh, wow. Wow. Hang on. You'll restock your shop soon. Yeah, I have a lot of terracotta. I do also have... I have 15 orange dye on me. I also have, like, 30 red and yellow dye in my storage. I just didn't want to carry it around. So I have ways of getting orange terracotta, which was the terracotta that I was using in the example that I had down there. So we'll see. We'll test. We'll test on stuff that's easy to take down, easy to swap out. But yeah, let's do this first. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And I think I'm gonna leave... I think once we've got the shape of the wing, it'll make sense. Like, we'll be able to tell if we want to come out another block. So I'm gonna leave... I'm gonna shave this off. These layers. This one and this one. And also that one. I can explain what I'm doing, I swear. We're gonna do this. We're gonna just take this off and see what happens. I do also have, like, the seed of this world, so... which, by the way, for, I think I've given it to people who are on Archaeo SMP, but just in case I haven't, I do have the seed. I can give it to you guys. Just if you're wanting to have a creative world to maintain some geology as you experiment, we can do that. Was there verming boots on? Yes. See you soon, Zed. Thanks for stopping by. Eat, maybe. On the one hand, I'm like, but I never eat and it's fine. And then on the other hand, my brain is like, yes, but what happens to players that never eat? They end up, you know, like smacking into some rocks and then dying because they were on 2 hearts and they didn't eat. So, and it's funny because when I watch other people play, I'm like, oh my gosh, you need to eat. Like Good Times with Scar or Ollie, I'm like, please just eat, please eat, please eat. But when it's me, I forget and I just don't. And I'm like, it's fine. Which I really shouldn't do. Okay, let's do this. Nope. I also theoretically could do, could bring shears up here, but I don't know that I'm kind of lazy. I do also have iron. I could do shears. I probably should do shears, shouldn't I? Let's just do this. I need to stop being lazy and just have some shears on my person. Okay. Reason you suggested Ollie never eats. I know, right? And Scar never eats either. Half of his videos, he's on half a heart. So they lose it hole in the wall. Yes, that is true, Jossie. The players who don't eat lose it hole in the wall. I would never want to play MCC. I'm very happy watching it. There's no way that I could handle the pressure of playing MCC, especially because, like, you guys have seen how clumsy I am in Minecraft. I'm super clumsy. So like, I would never want to be in a position where people are counting on my dexterity or my ability in Minecraft. Like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. But yes, I feel like I should, like, check out MCC Island at some point, when it's available. Like, it was in closed beta? Is it in? I don't remember what phase it's in, but there are things like the parkour stuff I want to, like, try and see if I'm decent at it, but I would never want to do it in, like, a high stakes environment where people are trying to win a competition. It's like, no, please don't rely on me to win anything that requires dexterity in a video game. No. So bad. I'm so bad. Yeah. Bet it's so much pressure. Yeah. It's so much fun to watch people who play well in MCC. And even people, like, that's the other thing, is that when you look at people who place, like, 35th or 40th or something, they're still doing really, really well. Like, way better than I would ever do. So anytime I see people who are upset at coming in last in MCC, I'm like, dudes, ladies, like... that's really good. I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's kind of like, you know, Olympians who come in 45th. It's like, you're still in the Olympics though. Like, you're 45th in the world. That is still astonishing. Like, yeah. Shut down. Hitting shutdown. Hang on, wait a minute. Did I see the time scar threw a poison potion at his own teammates? No, I don't think I did. You want to play MCCI? Yeah. Spend most of your time in Minecraft hitting the wrong directional buttons. Yes. Or like, I end up putting my fingers just slightly in the wrong position and I end up opening my inventory when I'm trying to go forward. That's my main thing that I end up doing. Hang on, let me see. Hitting wrong buttons again. Wait. It's in the time period right now where they shut down the closed beta. Yeah. Don't worry, Jossie. I feel ya. The number as those of you in the Discord will be aware, I end up editing like almost every message that I send because inevitably there's a typo somewhere. Even when I'm just typing on mouse and keyboard, like I'm not even on mobile and hitting the wrong button. I'm just legit bad at typing correct words. I'm good at typing. Middle school made me good at typing. No, I can't. I was like, can I get up there? No. Okay. Okay, fine. I'm just lazy. Let's do this and then do this. There we go. It's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, middle school made me good at typing against my will. I appreciate it now, but I don't know that it had to continue into high school as well. There's a point where it's like, are you sure that I need to do tech readiness as a class for 3 years straight? Like, anyway. I won't go on a soapbox rant about keyboarding classes and how much I dislike them, but I see the value. I still question whether you needed 3 years of them. But yeah. You feel like playing MCCI or similar would improve normal Minecraft gameplay? See, that's what I think too. Like if I practiced at doing something like Parkour Warrior style parkour, then my movement in Minecraft would probably get a lot better than it currently is. Not that it's like awful in Minecraft, but it's not good. It's not, yeah, I struggle in Minecraft with movement. Mostly because like my brain, I see things happen and then my brain doesn't process them in a timely manner. And so my brain ends up kind of freaking out because it's like, oh, I'm not processing this quickly enough. So I end up kind of, panicking. You didn't, now you still need to look at the keyboards. Yeah, see, there were the screens that they made you use to not look at the keyboard. I didn't mind learning how to type without looking at the keyboard specifically. I minded being timed on typing without looking at the keyboard, because in what world are you ever going to be timed? Like, unless you're going into being like a secretary in an office building or something, when are you ever going to need to type that quickly without looking at the keys? Like, I'm an academic and I've never had to do that. So it's very annoying. I do, at this point, I'm also able to type one-handed. Like, with my right hand, I can type relatively quickly. My mom is always sad because I can type faster than her with one hand, faster than she can type with two. And she's like, that's annoying. And like, I mean, she doesn't say it in a mean way. She says it in a frustrated way. So don't come for my mom. But yeah, I appreciate being able to do that, because like, then you can have something in your other hand. Like if I'm on the phone, I can type pretty quickly with a hand. That's helpful. But yeah, the multi-year process of having to type as quickly as possible without looking at what I'm doing. Ugh. I don't like being timed either. That's the other reason that I can't play MCC at all, like ever, because I hate being timed. So it just gives me a ridiculous amount of anxiety. When I was in college, like, I hate exams where it's like, you have an hour and a half to answer 3 questions in essay format. I hate that. I was so happy when I no longer had to do timed exams. It was the best academic day outside of like finishing my PhD, because that actually was probably a good thing as well. I should acknowledge that. Where's here? I have shulker boxes. Hang on. But yeah, I don't like it. When I was in college, I actually convinced one of my professors to... Yes, okay. I thought that Dragon had maybe snuck a cookie into my inventory, and I was about to be shocked and fake annoyed. But no, it was one I picked up. Never mind. The thing is that I don't know who the cookie person, the cookie monster on the server is. I know that Clara and Dragon made the cookie trail. I don't know if that means that they are also the people leaving cookies in people's chests. And I'm not the only person who has cookies all over their base. Other people have gotten it too, which is great. I love it. But yes, I genuinely don't know who is doing it. And now I forget what I was talking about before that, but yeah. Usually end up throwing your sword at zombies. Yes. I feel that so much. Use 3 different size keyboards. Oh, I couldn't do that. Struggle with typing without looking, can type with one thumb on your phone, drives your mom crazy. Yes. Yeah, my husband's keyboard is a different size to mine, and every time I go to use his keyboard for, like, I don't know, just if we're ordering food for dinner or something, it's easier to use the same keyboard or whatever. And I always get confused as to where stuff is. I feel like I should probably jump down and see how this looks. I actually didn't need to use a rocket there, but that's fine. Ooh. I mean, some of this, that's not gonna be there. But I'm feeling like this wool up here even is actually too much. I feel like we need to just take that off. Because that's not even on the shoulder. Really. Oh, but it is kind of getting there on this side. I still feel like it's too chunky. I feel like this layer needs to come off, and then probably also this one. I think. Took a speed reading class in college. It was actually torture. Oof. I've tried to do speed reading before because as an academic it would be really helpful, but I've found that it just makes me more confused about what's going on. It's better to know like where to read in an article than it is to speed read the whole thing. Had to rebind the drop item key further away from WASD. Yeah, absolutely. One of the best, this was also something, and this applies more to people who are like making videos and such, or streaming. The best thing that I learned in terms of keybinds for Minecraft, one of them, easily, the one that I use all the time, is rebinding F5 to R. So that you don't have to find F5 to be able to talk to the camera. That's, like, hands down, one of the best things to have heard other people say of like, oh yeah, I rebound that to R. And I'm like, that is genius! Which is one of those things, like, obviously, it's something, that, like, it's an obvious thing to maybe do, but it's not something you think of, necessarily, until somebody says it, and they're like, oh, of course! That makes perfect sense! So yeah, that's been really helpful. But yes, the inventory button, I always end up putting my hands like one key further over and then trying to move forward and hitting E and opening my inventory instead. Okay, so I feel like... I feel like this layer we probably need to take out. This is where I wish that Minecraft had a magnet so that you could easily collect the things that you're taking off of very precariously placed stuff. Is that? It is the layer though, because I was also thinking this layer maybe. Hang on. This layer works. Maybe let's take this one off and see how it looks. Oops. See? That's opening my inventory when I'm trying to actually just play the game. Yep. There we go. Case in point. Exhibit A. The original key for inventory was I. A lot of games do that, and I have to be honest, it really annoys me because I is all the way across the keyboard. If I'm using a mouse and WASD to play a game, I don't want to then have to go all the way across the keyboard just to open up my inventory. So like at this point, I like having the inventory at E. I just need to make sure that I place my hands correctly on the keyboard. That's all. That's what you used to for the longest time, but you recently changed it to Q for inventory and I for drop. Ah. That makes sense. I suppose, because Q, I don't really... Yeah, I don't necessarily drop things terribly frequently. Something to maybe think about or play with. Let's see. Let's get this. Let's bring this. Yeah, let's get rid of this layer. Because we can always add stuff back if it feels too flat once we've got the main gist of it. We can always add it back. Right? And I was considering taking this off too. This whole layer. I feel like I'm gonna need something for the feathers on this layer, but I don't know that I want what it currently is. We'll have to see. You use a controller, so if you want to drop something, you have to actually move your hand to the keyboard. Ah, that's true. You love that Kara threw her sword in the most recent Sands of Time because she had Q set as heal in Vault Hunters. Oh no! Yeah, Sands of Time, see, that's another reason I could never ever play MCC, because Sands of Time gives me so much anxiety that, like, no. As I said, I hate being timed for things. I absolutely hate it. It makes me so nervous. What am I saying? Yeah, when I was in college, I convinced one of my professors to let me write an essay for the final instead of taking her final. Which she shouldn't have, well, okay, if she let me have that option and then she didn't let other people have that option, which she really should have. Like, I don't know why. And she, like, it was after I had already submitted it for her. She was like, okay, don't tell anybody else that you did this. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, pretend that you took the exam just at a different date. And I was like, lady, so, don't do that. Don't be that person. That professor, that kind of, she was not a great professor as well. She would do exams, so like we would have a class period to finish an exam, so an hour and a half to do an exam that really took like 4.5 hours to complete. And she would let you sit there and take as much time as you needed, but like people had class afterwards and she just wouldn't change her exam length. She would keep it the same, and then she'd be upset with people for not fully answering the questions. And it's like, well, you're giving us an hour and a half to answer as many, like, to write 4 full essays with citations from memory. Like, this isn't grad school. Stop. And even in grad school, I didn't have to do that in grad school. Grad school was significantly easier than that class that I had in undergrad. So, like, so anyway, so that lady, I disapprove of that lady's methods. I'm not sure about this. Let's maybe get up here, because I feel like I need the shape. I need to get the shape. Okay, let's do this. The other reason I'm bad at movement in Minecraft is because I look at jumps and I'm like, I could probably do that, regardless of whether I actually could. I like doing the, let me try this and see what happens. This is not what I want to do. I say as I do the exact thing I don't want to do. I didn't want to replace that. I wanted to take it all out and then build up the shape. Sands of Time is so stressful watching it, let alone playing. Yeah, absolutely. That professor was very toxic. This was when, so I was gonna do, for a long time, I was gonna do a double major in anthropology, which is what archaeology is under in the United States. I was gonna do a double major in anthropology and environmental studies because I've spent a lot of time working on farms and historical farms, and it's like, it's a big deal. And so I originally wanted to do a double major in that, or well, I guess it wasn't like my first plan, but by the time I was a sophomore, I wanted to, so like a second year for people who may not be familiar with the American terms, I wanted to double major in environmental studies and anthropology, and that was a very popular double major combination in my university. A lot more people were doing like cultural anthropology, so living cultures and things, plus environmental studies, but still. And so I wanted to do that. And then I had this class, sustainable agriculture stuff, with this lady, and the stuff that we learned in class was fine, but like the way that she organized the class, the way that she taught was just so toxic. I was like, no, I don't want to have another several years of learning under you. So I guess I'm not doing that double major, basically. I just noped out of that double major because it didn't feel worth it. This is probably, no. This already doesn't feel good. Okay. Okay. The thing is that now that I've taken that out, the structure of the head is kind of gone, which isn't like the worst thing in the world because we're changing the structure of the head anyway. But you love watching Sands of Time and Vault Hunters, especially H-Bomb and Pete, since they managed to stay so calm. See those, I can watch H-Bomb and Pete because they're so calm in those situations. I just, the sand element of Sands of Time, I'm just like, no. And the like, I'm bad at parkour and fighting enemies, so I'm like, I could never play Sands of Time. I would be so bad. Because I would get anxious at the sand, and then I would be bad at the like, getting coins element of the game. It would just be a bad time. Let's see. Let's do, like, this, maybe? Maybe that could go there. I'll have a flyback in a minute and see how I feel about it. If you ever got invited to play MCC, you probably would anyways. Yeah. I would be like, I'm assuming that won't happen, but if it did, I would just be like, please put me with people who are not trying to win. Please put me with people that don't mind if they lose, because they're probably going to, and I don't want them to be super sad. Because, yeah. Let's see how that is. I don't need a rocket to get over here. Let's get to there. Okay, on the one hand, that feels kind of good. On the other hand, it feels kind of high up. Like, the shoulder seems a little too high. Let's come over this way. Because this is going to be something where it's going to look weird from at least one perspective. And from this perspective, it doesn't look quite as bad, but it does still look a little bit high. I feel like, compared to how the Kingfisher looks, I think. Yeah, I think if we take the top layer, maybe, off of it. And part of it is that I have to remember that we're reshaping the head to be kind of more like this area rather than up, because they don't seem to have much of a neck. They're very cute little birds, but they don't have too much of a neck. But I think that top layer maybe can come off. And then what I might do is clear away the dirt and see what that looks like. Okay, all right. Let's see if I can fail to land this for a third or maybe even fourth time, because I've lost count of how many times I've failed to land this. There are even more blocks as well. Yeah. Nope. I got it over here though, so that's fine. That's okay. I'm pretty, yeah. Exhibit A as to why I could never play MCC. I have been trying, like, I enjoy flying around, and I've been trying to be better at flying, but it's the landing. I haven't been working on landing all that much. I've been working on, like, flying through random narrow spaces and such, to an extent, but I haven't been working on landing, and, it shows. Probably. Okay, so this is a little bit too high, I think. And then this is probably also a bit too high. And because of that, we probably want that to come down. This is also a thing because we don't really have stairs that are this color blue. So we can't, or even slabs really. So we can't use stairs and slabs to kind of ease the transition a little bit, which is fine, but it does change things. Or it doesn't really change things. It just means that we don't have as many tools at our disposal to get the shape. How's that? Let's see this. Yeah, I feel like that if we have the head come out from here-ish, and if we make this a little bit narrower, so that it's not quite as pudgy. Not that kingfishers can't be pudgy, just, I don't want the proportions to look weird, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think that works. What do you guys think? Turns are your friend for slowing down for sure. Yeah. Bleed off speed while flying by making sudden turns. Yeah, I should do that when I'm trying to land in a cave. I should do that. Yeah. It's okay, you all get to watch me learn how to land that, or at least part of the learning process. No guarantees that I'll get it right the first in this stream. I was gonna say the first time. What? Where? There must be like a cave underneath me. Can I sleep up here? Or is it still, I mean, that zombie, okay, all right. I was gonna say that zombie sounded close, but I guess not. All right, cool. Oh, there. Silly zombie. You know that 90s and 2000s marketing worked when I said silly zombie and my brain immediately answered with tricks are for kids. So, yep, there we go. That's, yep, Okay, I think that works as the wing. Let's try, I know that there's like 10 minutes-ish left of stream, but let's try and get the shape of the breast. Because if we can get that, hang on, where's the wool? There we go. If we can get those two things, I feel like the rest is gonna be kind of home free. Well, not home free, it's gonna be easier. Once I've got the general shape, we can move from there. Yeah. Take your bets. Will I land it? Probably not. Especially because there are all these blocks in the middle. I did it! Now I'm never gonna do it again. Your brain said the same thing? Okay, alright, okay, I'm glad. It's all of us showing our age, but yes, I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought that. that was immediately where my brain went. Huh? Oh, yeah, Trix is a cereal in the United States, and they had a slogan with a rabbit, and the rabbit kept wanting Trix. And then, all of their commercials was this rabbit trying to acquire Trix in some fashion. And then the kids would get it, usually take it away from the rabbit. Like, he would have just gotten the box, and then the kids would take it and be like, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. And that was, for like a decade, that was the slogan. Yeah. Y'all are old. I'm not that old. I mean, well... I like to think I'm not that old. Let's go with that. I saw the duck down there, and somehow my brain, you know, when you're on, like, showing hitboxes, like F3B, my brain thought that that was a hitbox, even though I'm not using F3B. So this is, you know, I'm a functional person. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, we can do that. That's 3, 1, 2, 3, and then this was 2, this was 2, 3. We'll see how we feel about that, and that was 2. Yeah, we'll see how we feel about that eventually. I'll probably end up taking out this as well, because it's coming out a little far, which would make it easier to get into the cave, probably. I think what we want to do, though... Okay, so... The nice thing is that we're a little bit further out, or we have a walkway that's a little further out with this part. I think if we come out to, like, just there and then come down, maybe. I think this bit might be jutting out a little bit too far. And then this is going to end up being feet. Or part of the feet. Let's see how this goes. Okay, let's see. Probably have got the reference if you knew anything about North American cereal. Well, I mean, in fairness, I only know stuff about North American cereal because I grew up there. but yeah. Also, one thing that I enjoy living in the UK in general is that, okay, so for those of you who are not from the UK or necessarily other parts of the world that also have a similar thing, there's a thing called Weetabix, right? Or Weet-Bix. If you're in, like, Australia, New Zealand, I think they just call it Weet-Bix. And that, Americans don't know that that is a cereal to be eaten in a bowl with milk. And the reason they don't know is because it comes in biscuit form. It doesn't look like, it's not cereal that, like, in the sense of pour it from a box into a bowl with some milk. So it's not consumed in a way that you would expect cereal to be. I mean, it's grains. It's like you break it up in the milk, but it doesn't. Yeah. So I do find it funny when people from this country are surprised that other people don't know how to eat Weetabix, and I'm like, well, would you know how to eat Weetabix if it wasn't part of your culture? Like, if somebody gave you that and told you it was cereal, would you believe them? Would you automatically know to put that in a bowl with some milk? I don't know that you would. So, yeah, Weetabix is funny. Okay, let's see. How's this doing? See, even that is coming out a little... Is that coming out? Part of me is feeling like that's coming out a little far, but maybe it's not. You're ancient, which is why you're watching an archaeologist play Minecraft. I study your times. Okay, so to make some people feel old, you might hate me for this. In archaeology, officially, anything can be archaeology if it happened in the past. So, like, stuff that happened yesterday can count as archaeology. So this is not like a hard and fast rule. But for things like museum preservation, for example, so when I was doing my PhD, well, actually, this was my master's. When I was doing my master's, I was documenting glass beads in the National Museum of Scotland. And I came across a matchbox that said, bead found on lab floor, June 14th, 1957. And this was in June of 2014, I want to say. I think it was 2014. So it had been a while. And inside the matchbox, there was a finds bag, like the ones that I had shown you guys, which I promise I have. Like one of these that just said bead found on lab floor. It was folded, like the bead was inside it. It was folded up and stuck in the matchbox. I was like, so someone had clearly come back and found that and was like, oh, I should take care of this. Let me put it in a bag and then never think about it again. And the good news for that bead is that I have found what I'm pretty sure is the original, like, accession number. Like, we figured out which bead it was because I'm the only person to have obsessed over glass beads from this period. Well, no, that's not true. To have obsessed over that particular glass bead in like 60 years. But part of how I was able to look at those beads is because I was repackaging them so that they could be moved safely to the new collection storage unit that had been built for the museum. And so the question became, well, we've got this in a matchbox, but we don't want to keep, like, we want to treat it like all the other beads in the collection and give it its own box. Like, it's a clear box that you can actually see through that's actually, you know, like, good for archaeological preservation of artifacts and that kind of thing. But because the matchbox had been given, like, because the bead was associated with the matchbox in 1957, and this was 2014, it was more than 50 years ago. And therefore, the matchbox had to stay with the object because it was part of the object's history now. So 50 years is kind of like the cutoff that's used for that kind of thing, right? If it's 50 years old or older, then it's archaeologically very important. So weirdly, what we ended up doing, I was just like effectively giving my, well, I wasn't giving free labor. I was doing what I was told because I was not in charge of these collections and I wanted to be able to document them. So I went to my my supervisor and I was like, what do I do? And she was like, oh, well, we could just get rid of it. And I was like, yeah, but it's 1957. And she goes, oh, that was more than 50 years ago, wasn't it? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, okay, all right. So so basically what she had me do was cut up the matchbox to just have the lid, like the top part that said bead found on lab floor, June 5th or whatever it was, June something, 1957. So I cut that up and put it in the box with the bead. And that was the solution that we had. So now in the National Museum of Scotland, there is a bead that has the top of a matchbox, like the top panel of a matchbox associated with it, that says bead found on lab floor in June of 1957. But yeah, if you're 50 years old or older, that's important archaeologically, like automatically archaeologically relevant. Stuff that is younger than that is also usually archaeologically relevant, and especially it really depends on like the event or the time frame or the culture. But yeah, it's generally speaking, it's 50 years is the automatic cutoff. Let me see. Let me go up one more maybe. And then it's getting dark and I should sleep. Let me go this way to my bed. Oh, I still have to go down. Never mind. I still have to. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. Ah, thanks for sleeping, whoever slept. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Cool. I think it's getting dark because of how dark it is. Do you guys remember the numbers for all of these quotes now? Is this, you've memorized the numbers? So you can call me out. If ever, some of them, yes. You like that commercial video games are 50 years old now? Yes, absolutely. I actually have, there are colleagues who excavated the site that, the Atari dump site. So it was like all of these Atari games that were dumped in the 80s, 90s. And it's basically like a whole bunch of E.T. just in this site, in this dump site. And they excavated that ages ago now, like decades ago. But there's entire, like, excavation reports and everything on it. It's pretty great. Archaeo gaming, it's a thing. Somehow. Weirdly. I mean, I'm not protesting, I'm not questioning it. I just am grateful that it's a thing. Somehow. Okay. We're getting into head territory, so I'm not gonna do anything with it up there. If you can't survive on cookies, what's the point? Exactly. In Arizona, yes, it is in Arizona. The Atari dump site. That means the musketeer Grandpa caught and had mounted is historically significant. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Remember watching something on the Atari dump site. Yeah. It's very cool. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I did tell you guys of, like, the best insult, the harshest insult I've ever heard that involves archaeology. I think I told you guys this. Can we do this? Okay. I'm just gonna... Okay. Sorry, I was in the middle of telling you guys the best insult I've ever heard, archaeologically speaking, and then I got distracted by stuff, by math. Maybe. I love that this is where I don't even notice that you guys are adding these quotes. Have you been adding quotes this whole time as well, or are you just looking at quotes? Now I'm nervous about quotes. I'm like, oh no, what have I said this time? I like how this sits on the branch from this perspective. So maybe let's see what this looks like from afar. But yeah, so the best insult that I've ever heard, archaeologically speaking. See, it looks chonky from here. Oops. I mean, remembering that this bit... Yeah, that's true. On the other hand, all this dirt and all this wool is gonna disappear. So maybe I should get rid of that, and then we'll see how that looks. And then what I'll probably do is replace the last bits... Am I too low? Nope. Hey! It's the turns. The turns are how to do it. Okay, and then what I'll probably do is get the last bit of the shape in here, and then probably end the stream, just because we are past 3 at this point. Let me do this. Let's see. Let me also take the bed. Okay, so if we're getting rid of this whole thing, right? And I'll pick it up from the ground if I feel the need. I don't know if I will feel the need. Should I keep this one? I mean, because this comes out, but at the same time, that's a wing. I am semi-thinking out loud. I mean, although what else is a stream aside from somebody thinking out loud? I mean, there's obviously more to it, but it's a lot of streams are somebody thinking out loud, so you knew what you were getting into. But yeah, the best insult, archaeologically speaking, that I have ever heard was on my first dig, which was here in Scotland. I did my field school in Scotland, and we were doing an open day, and the owner of the land that we were on was, I mean, I don't know what kind of person, I never met him, so I never had to worry too much about it, but he was a lord, right? Because that's how land ownership tends to work in the UK. It's usually owned by a lord or somebody similar, and then, you know, people get granted the ability to use the land kind of situation. So anyway, so we were on land that was owned by a lord, and this lord's nephew did not like him. So we were doing this open day, and my friend was giving this lord's nephew a tour of the site that we were on. Is this the last one? Yeah, there we go. Giving the nephew a tour, and mentioned that like the land was owned by this lord, and the nephew is like, oh yeah, no, he's my uncle. Honestly, the sooner he shuttles off this mortal coil and becomes archaeology himself, the better. That was what he said, just randomly to my friend. And we were like, wow, oh gosh, okay. So yeah, harshest insult I have ever heard, pretty much. Okay, yeah, I feel like this is getting closer to our little Malachite Kingfisher guy. I need to get that dirt off, and then I think I'm gonna take out this bit as well, because that is kind of coming further over this way. I'm guessing that there's gonna be more for like actual 3D depth that I end up doing. In fact, I might do that before stream ends. But I'm liking it. And I like, ooh, because part of me is wanting to, oh, I'm too low, hang on. Part of me is wanting to, or has considered putting Skulk in here and making this one of the Skulk caves too. So that could be cool. Because I like the Skulk caves. Saying the sooner the person becomes archaeology, the better is a great insult. Expression of dislike. Yes, whew. We were like, dang, dude, okay. I mean, we don't know what your uncle has done to make you dislike him so much. And we hadn't, like, none of us were from that area, so we're like, we don't know how this dude actually is as a person, but it was kind of hilarious to hear his nephew just be like, no, this dude needs to leave. Like, oh, okay. Okay, let me clean this up and then take out, I can't reach. Because I feel like there might be some of this that I want to do like here. Let's do, hang on. There. Sure, we'll do that. I mean, this will get replaced. There'll be, I can form a sentence. It's all gonna, it'll work. I mean, I formed a sentence. I don't know that it was a good one, but I formed a sentence. Here, let's just do this. How far down do these go? They go down far. This is when I wish that I could, like, extend my reach in Minecraft. Okay. Alright, we're gonna fall. Over here and not run into the bridge and accidentally hurt myself. And I should eat before a dragon tells me to eat, because he probably told me to eat ages ago. Oh, see you later, Lazagod. I totally missed you saying goodbye, but see you later. I hope the car repairs go well if you're watching the VOD. Okay. All right. Let's see. How we doing? Let's go over here. I do still need to take the dirt from the tree off, but yeah, I think we're getting there. Okay, so if I bring the orange down to like this area, yeah, I think that could work, and then we can do a little tail. I like the idea of the little tail coming in like right here and like being part of the cave. That makes me happy. I might need to figure out, cause okay, so the other thing, and I'm not gonna do this on stream today because I don't trust myself to figure it out. The other thing I'm wondering, because the staircase comes up here, like way on the back, and I'm wondering how that's going to change given the different structure of this little bird. So I might have to I might end up reworking that staircase, or that pathway. But I do like how it is at the moment. And I'm gonna, at the moment, it's like just the wool colors. I do have lapis blocks. V's very generously donate a certain amount of lapis blocks, so V's doubled the amount of lapis blocks that I have available for this project, which is great. And what I might do is also make some concrete, so we can kind of vary with wool and lapis and concrete for the dark blue, and then wool and concrete for the bright orange. And actually, I'm wondering, okay, it won't be like the bright psychedelic orange of the beak and the feet, but I'm kind of wondering if the orange terracotta might work. Like the orange terracotta and the acacia planks might work for the feet and the beak. I think we'll have to see. The head, I am also going to have, like, because right now the head of the bird is kind of looking up, and I think I'm going to edit it so that it's looking more like parallel to the water, or even down at, like, this area of the base, maybe. Just because kingfishers spend a lot of time looking down, because they're looking for fish in the water. So I think I'll do that. I think it's going to fit a little bit better with the head. I'm not going to do the head today. We will get to the head probably next stream, maybe, if I am functional enough to figure out how to do the head. I feel like we could do that next stream, probably. And then the little feet and the tail. We can't go too far. So the other thing is, okay, so thinking about this. Oh, right, it is dark. Thank you so much for the follow, Travis. Welcome on in. I hope that I have said your username correctly, but if not, let me know. I'm more than happy to be corrected on that. But yeah, I think, okay, so with the feet, if we bring this down so that the feet are kind of connected over here, then, like, to the body, then we kind of need the what am I describing? So that, like, if they're on the branch, they're sitting kind of like this, right? Where their feet are underneath their body itself. So we might need to, bottom line, we might need to finagle the feet a little bit, and or finagle this branch a little bit, like maybe bring it back a little, so that this kingfisher's actually sitting on the branch. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how the balance works. Just because I'm realizing if the feet are connected down here, then having them up here and sitting on a branch might not be what actually is possible for a kingfisher. So we'll see. We'll figure it out next time. Thank you to everybody for joining for this stream. Here, I'll go inside while we're doing this, just in case, because I get distracted. Saw my YouTube notification that I was live. Oh, cool! I'm so sorry. I am ending just now, but I'm glad that you saw on YouTube. And there will be a VOD of this. I mean, there will be on Twitch immediately afterwards. And then at some point, I will be better about putting VODs on YouTube. I'm not the greatest at remembering to put them on YouTube, in part because they're really big files, and then needing to get them uploaded, it's like, it doesn't feel like a lot, but at the same time it's a lot, so I need to remember to do it. I need to be better about doing it. But anyway, there is a VOD, and thank you to everybody for coming along to stream. You're following now, so you'll keep a lookout. Absolutely, that's great. Thank you so much. My goal is to be streaming on Thursday, because last week was the YouTube short, so I'm streaming on Thursday this week. I stream every other Thursday for people who might be new, so that I can release a video. My next video is hopefully going to be released next week. It's going to be how to build ruins in archaeology. I did a poll on the community tab, and you all requested that, so, or at least the majority requested that as the next video. All of those videos are going to get made. If you saw that poll, don't worry, they're all getting made, just in the order of, you know, what more people were saying. So yeah, so that'll be fun. And let me see if there's somebody to raid. Do I have it set up for Twitch to upload it? So I will chat with you after, Clara. I'll message on Discord. But yeah, it's a complicated answer. But yeah, I think, let me see if there's somebody to raid. If we've got a person to raid. Let's see. I don't know that anybody I know is currently playing Minecraft. So I think what I'll do is I will leave it there. But thank you everybody for joining, and hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. It is always it's always a bit up in the air because of my health. So I could wake up on Thursday and feel absolutely terrible, as most of you know. But don't worry about it. We do also have a Discord for anybody who's interested. Here's the Discord, just in case for anybody who's lurking or anybody who is joined and isn't aware that we have a Discord. We also have a Discord, so feel free to join that. We talk about Minecraft, we talk about archaeology. I live vicariously through other people's photos of their pets and their plants because I don't have any pets and I like pets. Yeah, so there's that. Otherwise, I will see you guys, hang on, where am I? I will see you guys all on Thursday, and thanks for coming along and building this Kingfisher. We're nowhere near done, but we're a lot closer to done than we were at the start of the stream, so that's a good thing. Alright, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye!